How do we work inside the 80-20 rule? It's called the Pareto principle. The Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, is a theory maintaining that 80% of the output from a given situation or system is determined by 20% of the input. So what does that mean? It means that 20% of your efforts achieve 80% of the results in your life or in your business. And this can go across anything. It's not just in personal finance, it's not just in real estate, it's not just in health, it's in all things, across dimensional, in every pillar of your life. So let's break this down. I remember when I first got out of college and I interned for actually a mortgage company in 2007. I didn't end up taking the job, but when I interviewed there, the guy who interviewed me is like, hey man, yeah, every year we remove about 20% of the bottom performers in the business and we replace it with another 20%. You see, that got me thinking about the 80-20 rule. And when I was thinking about the 80-20 rule in that capacity, I'm thinking this is somebody who's been around the business a while and knows not how to work against the 80-20 rule, but how to work with it. You see, when you realize that you have a team in place and 80% of the growth comes from 20% of your team, you might think, well shit, maybe I'll just fire the 80% who's only accomplishing 20% of the business. Now, if you had 100 people and you just hired 80, you're left with 20 people, the top 20%, what you're gonna find is out of those 20 people, 20% of them achieve 80% of the results. And so this isn't something you battle against. This isn't something that you do that with, but it's something you learn to work with. It's something that you learn to ebb and flow with in your business. So here's what this guy was doing that I interviewed for with the mortgage company. He was clearing out the bottom 20% and infilling it with a new 20% of people, right? So he might lay off 20 people that year and he'd bring in 20 new people. Chances are out of those 20 new people, they're gonna achieve higher and more than what the previous 20 people were achieving and get redistributed on who's achieving more. And if you keep on clearing out and backfilling the bottom performers in your organization, that's a way to work with the Pareto principle as opposed to against it. I also think about going to the gym. Going to the gym, you might do some warm-up activities, you might do some stretching, you might do some weightlifting, you might do some cardio, you might do some calisthenics. The thing is, like, 20% of the activities and the workout achieves 80% of the growth. So what is that? Is it the stretching? Is it well, it depends on what your goals are. If you want to build more muscle mass, it's going to be the last 2 benches on the bench press. Not the first 8 on a set of 10, but it's going to be the last 2 that you push the hardest, that you're pushing to failure. And those last 2 pushes is what builds the most growth, the most muscle mass, which then increases your body muscle content, which then burns more calories over time and gets you the results that you're looking for. But if you don't push to failure, then you're not getting that last 20% of effort that achieves 80% of the results. And then the obvious one is in the sales and the finance world, right? Like, what achieves the most income in your business? What are you doing that moves the needle the most of all the activities you can be doing in your business? Is it creating business cards? Probably not. Is it refining your website? Maybe if you're in e-commerce, but more likely than not, that's not it. It's typically prospecting in some capacity. So you need to focus your efforts and your team's efforts on doing those 10, 20% of activities that yield 80 to 90% of the results. Typically it's prospecting, it's going and communicating and talking to people about, are they willing to sell deals, you're networking, trying to get deal flow coming in the real estate world, or it's raising private money. And I'm reaching out and talking to actual private investors. That moves the needle more than anything else I can be doing on that front. And then once I have those investors and I have a list of 100 different people who want to invest with me, now I'm going to say, oh, okay, well, 20% of them have 80% of the money with me. So how do I find more of the 20%? What is their avatar? Who are they? What do they do for a living? What kind of business do they own? What kind of mindset are they in? Are they married? Are they not married? Are they, do they have an e-commerce business? Are they real estate professionals? Who are these people that are investing higher dollar amounts with me? And how do I duplicate that avatar and fill in out of those other 80%, fill in more of those top 20% type of individuals that fit that avatar demographic that I want to attract in order to raise more capital to my business. That's always what I'm thinking about, of how do I eliminate the low-lying, lesser impact activities or people that can influence my business, and how do I backfill it with the activities and the people who can produce more for the business. And I'm not talking about this from a moral perspective or an ethical perspective, like there are moral values that you should follow and things along those lines. I'm talking specifically about production and generating results from a certain population of the people on your team and a certain population of your investors, a certain population of your network that produces those results. So go out and run that exercise. Take a look at where your time is spent, and that's what I would probably do first. I would take your day, figure out where you're spending your time, and out of your entire day that you catalog, where is majority of the results being produced? And I would look at it not just from a business and personal finance perspective, but in your relationships, in your health, in your mindset, in your spirituality. Like, what gives you the greatest results for the time and the effort that you're putting in? And I would lean into those, clear out some of the other stuff, and try to backfill your other time with more things that can make your relationships better, can dial in your health better, and can increase your finances in a greater capacity. So give me some of your takeaways and give me some of the things that you're going to implement of where you've seen the Pareto principle work in your life. Put it in the comment section. I'd love to see how you guys are working inside and with the principle as opposed to swimming against it. So put that in the comment section. Please share this with somebody else who would get some good value out of this. And please like our channel. Please subscribe to the Legacy Wealth channel. We're always trying to create more content to deliver value to you so you can live a bigger life, be more, do more, have more, and give more.